I go to Erev Shabbos. This week's parsha is Parshas Reeh. Parshas Reeh has a lot of different things in it. It's a jam-packed parsha, but I actually want to discuss something that's not mentioned in the parsha at all. And that is that 15 times in this week's parsha, it says, Hamakim Asher Yivchar Hashem, referring to the city of Yerushalayim, the place where we're eventually going to bring karbanos and be Oila Regel and all these wonderful things. The center of the Jewish universe is Yerushalayim. But why doesn't the pasuk mention it by name? Why does it just say Hamakim Asher Yivchar Hashem? So the Mefarshim talk about this. The Rambam himself discusses this in Mari Nevuchim, and he gives several answers. But I saw something this year from Rabbi Yoel Ben Nun and also from Rabbi Menachem Liebtag. They say similar themes, and I want to try to draw from those two sources something that a lesson that I feel that we could learn from this. And that is that during the years before Yerushalayim became the eternal home of the Beis Hamikdash, Klal Yisrael had to learn first to seek out the place where Hashem's presence rested. The Torah's emphasis when it says Hamakom Asher Yivchar Hashem is not just on the destination. We're so focused always on the destination. Why doesn't it say Yerushalayim? That's our focus, right? Our focus is always the end. And it's good to keep the goal in mind always, but what about the pursuit itself? How are you getting there? And perhaps that's the lesson that this parsha is teaching us. In fact, if you look at the pasuk, it says L'shichnoi sidrishu uvasa shama, seek his presence and then go there. And maybe that pasuk is a hint to what we're talking about here, to this lesson. The order sounds a little bit backwards, right? You would expect the Torah to say, okay, go there, go to Yerushalayim and find Hashem, because that's where he is. So go there and find Hashem. But it doesn't say that. It says, first seek, first look, L'shichnoi sidrishu, look for Hashem, uvasa shama, then you'll get there. Right? The first part is the seeking out Hashem, and perhaps the Torah is teaching us that before we could arrive at a holy place physically, we first have to become people who are searching for the holiness spiritually. And of course, the lesson, I think it's obvious, I believe this is what they mean, that the lesson extends far beyond Yerushalayim. Many of us we wait for that perfect moment. We're waiting for ourselves to get more established in our jobs, or for our kids to grow older so we'll have more time, or for the perfect rabbi to fall into our laps or into our feeds. That's what we're waiting for in order to get inspired, but life doesn't work that way, and that's not even what Hashem wants from us. What Hashem wants from us is the pursuit. The holiness doesn't begin when we arrive. It starts way before. It starts the moment we start searching. Hashem's not interested in whether we reach it's not only interested in whether we reach our destination. He's interested in whether we became the type of people who are constantly seeking him out. Sometimes the greatest step in our relationship with Hashem isn't finding him. That's not the ultimate goal. It's just to start looking for Hashem. That's what he wants. He wants us to be a mavakesh of Hashem. He wants us to start looking for him. He wants us to start reaching out to him to connect. May we all be zeicha to do just that. Have a good Shabbos.